Is along with Coach Brian Haddad, James Fife, Jimmy Pharaoh, and we are going to finish the story right here. I think Monty's going to be joining us as well, right?
Yeah. Monty, you on the line with us there, buddy?
I'm on the line, man. How are you guys?
Again, guys, Monte and the Pharaoh, Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Central, Cablevision, Facebook, YouTube. Other than maybe their choice in guests the Thursday leading into WrestleMania, these guys have it absolutely all buttoned up. Just kidding, guys. I had an absolute blast with you on that. All right, let's start with it. Overall thoughts. A big WrestleMania last year. They knocked it out of the park night one. Night two was kind of a dud, sucked the air out of the building for about 3 weeks until Backlash. This year, maybe a little of the opposite. What's your overall take on the event? And then I'm sure we'll get into more specifics later.
Night one, steaming pile of something. And night
doo-doo.
Yeah, le doo-doo. Night two obviously couldn't have been more different. Night two was really good. It was a great event. Night two, it made up for night one. Overall, they get the passing grade because, as my partner always points out, it's the last thing you remember usually about WrestleMania.
That's
and
right.
The final big moments that usually either carry your memory or shake your memory. So this was a good ending, and I'm sure a lot of crybabies have put away their tissue boxes.
And I think Monty's just excited so he can continue to do the show, right?
What are you talking? Wait a minute. Now, hold on.
That's the next question. Are we still a wrestling fan today, Monty, or are we not?
Here we go.
Well, we had a post show. We had a post show last night, and I did not partake.
Right.
Because I was very, very upset. I still remain upset. I'm not so sure I'm sticking with wrestling anymore. This may be the end. Jimmy, I think like I said, we'll do a show on tennis. You're well-rounded.
A show on tennis? I was kind of hoping for badminton.
You can merge them both and add some pickleball in there. You'll be just fine.
Well, you know what? If they keep up with this booking, it'll be, ladies and gentlemen, Pharaoh talks to the Pharaoh, which happens all the time. I'd rather not do that.
All right, so obviously the Cody thing, we'll get to that. Before we do, though, I mean, look, this is 8 hours of wrestling.
Yeah.
So let's talk about a couple other things. A couple of quick hitter questions for you guys. Biggest, let's just say this, worst match of WrestleMania.
Worst match of WrestleMania. Wow, you really process stuff, don't you?
I do.
Got to think about that one for a little while. There was you know what? This is going to sound rough, but I think the brothers, because of I expected more from the brothers, and it was lame. How about you, Mike?
I'm going to go with the worst match of the night due to the result was the Gunther match. Didn't matter how well the match was or how much I enjoyed it. The ending ruined the entire match. Yeah.
Right.
But if you want to go overall, just bad match, the brothers was a bad match. I agree.
Yeah, I think I agree. Jay and Jimmy just underwhelmed. The lead up underwhelmed. The execution underwhelmed. It wasn't there. If I had to throw another one out, maybe it would be Lashley and the Street Profits versus AOP and Cross. But I'll be honest, I thought it did better than I expected.
Right. Well, maybe the Usos could have used Bubba Ray as a referee to at least make me not run to the bathroom.
Well, that's true too. All right.
There's always that.
So that being said, even including the biggest matches on the card, what do you think was the best match you saw of the weekend?
I got to be honest. I mean, and it surprised me. Mike, do I get a little props here? I really thought that Bayley and Io Sky was a great match. I really enjoyed that. I was like, wow, this was really an excellent match. So I'm going with that. What about you, Mike?
What, are we talking about the best match of the night?
Yeah, over the weekend.
That was a great match, but I gotta go with the Cody Roman Reigns title match. I mean that was just incredible.
Right.
And for both of you, I'm a little shocked. Night one was not that bad. Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley was fantastic. The entrance for Rhea Ripley alone was incredible. Yeah. And I know you guys maybe feel differently, but I thought the tag team match was an A match. I thought it was the perfect match to lead into night 2. I thought it was well done. It was slow. It was smooth. I did not hate night 1. Was it better than night 2? Absolutely not. But I did not hate night 1.
I think my issue with night 1, where night 2 started hot. I mean, they booked that match beautifully from beginning to end, and it felt like pure momentum the rest of the way.
Right.
Whereas night 1, they started hot, had a big lull, and finished hot. So that would be my issue. I agree. After reflection, I mean, if you're 5 minutes after the main event, it's hard not to think that was the best thing you saw. The more I dwelled on it, I loved Bailey Io. I really did. But if I had to pick something different from beginning to end, from almost a 3-second pinfall victory to the way it ended with the story told and the twists and turns, the way they did Drew and Seth was phenomenal.
That was great. It was.
I mean, the Drew got his moment, hands it to his wife, and then can't help himself. Has to go mess with CM Punk. Ends up losing. Do I love Damian cashing in? No.
I did.
But it told a beautiful story.
Yeah.
And it sets up for a lot of great.
Can I just get this in though real fast? You know, as an adopted kid, what's with all these families? Could you stop showing everybody's third cousin removed? Oh, it's my third cousin. I miss you so much. I'm winning this match for you. Ugh. Give me a break. Ugh.
The one thing I was impressed about, guys, is the coach you were on last Thursday, and by the way, you were fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. He was, wasn't he?
He was fantastic.
Yeah.
We all felt Damian was going to cash in. We weren't sure it was going to be Gunther or Seth.
Right.
But the one thing we all discussed is we couldn't figure out if McIntyre won the belt, how they were going to actually do it. And I was just in awe how they wrote that. And I was like, wow, that's why I'm not a booker in pro wrestling. This is gold. And that was gold, that match.
Exactly. And you know, the best movies or the best TV shows or the best books or whatever are the ones that after they do whatever they do in the story, you're like, I should have seen that. Yeah. It's so perfect. That's exactly the way I felt after that, because none of us thought, we all thought maybe he cashes on Seth somehow.
Right.
The fact of Drew getting his moment and then getting in his own way
what a
and
dingbat.
Costing him
that was great.
Was fabulous.
Yeah.
And how did we not see that coming? But those are the best stories.
Well, I figured Punk would play a role in it. I did say that much, and of course he did play a role in it. And by the way, you know, Punk was fantastic in his role.
Oh,
I got to give Punk, Punk some props right there, because Punk really is the reason why he is who he is.
You know, guys, an interesting thought I had is that this reminded me of early WrestleManias in that this is the ending of whatever the year-long or 6-month or whatever buildup is, and then you start anew right after. It hasn't been that way the last couple of years. A lot of programs have continued on. This year really felt like they were wrapping up not just several storylines, but, as they say, an era. It just felt like a big change. Now, maybe that was so many title changes that went on, but did you have the same feeling I did?
I just want to say that, you know, and when Roman was coming out to the ring, I thought to myself also, I'm like, this could be, and it turned out to be, the end of the greatest heel bad guy.
Yes.
The greatest heel champion in the history of WWE, going back to 1963.
I think it has to be.
It is. It's, to me, it's not even close. I'm sure Mike would probably agree about this. The only one I could think of is superstar Billy Graham, but give me a break. Yeah. That does not compare to now.
That's right.
It does not compare to now.
Jimmy, just to pile on what you're saying, you're 100% correct. We have now seen the greatest heel of all time. But I spoke to Jimmy earlier today. Here's the problem, guys. We are now going back to the Bob Backlund era.
That's right.
Cody Rhodes is Bob Backlund, but he's not Bob Backlund, if you get what I'm saying.
Right.
The change in wrestling, this was a big mistake. In the end result, giving the fans what they wanted will change the landscape of pro wrestling. I don't know where they go from here. They're going to lose my interest. I can feel it already. You can't recover. They destroyed Gunther at WrestleMania, and they destroyed Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. And it's like, where do you go from here with a Cody Rhodes? And, Coach, let me ask you this, Jimmy, let me ask you this. When you saw The Rock and Roman Reigns next to Cody Rhodes, were you like, this is going to be the next champion?
I was like, who's the
What are we
tennis
doing
instructor
here?
with those bodybuilders? Right.
Bidding for your first segment on your new tennis
Right.
show.
And on the subject of tennis, Mike, how do you feel about Bjorn Borg? Does he still have staying power after all these years? It's amazing. It's amazing. Now, I don't feel like, Mike, I got to soothe you a little bit if I can. I don't feel that Roman Reigns is destroyed. His record will be what it will be. And you know what? It took Cody 2 WrestleManias to do this and half the roster from yesteryear to help him.
Yeah.
So basically, I don't think that Roman is destroyed, but I do think Gunther is destroyed.
Let me throw this out at you real quick here.
Yeah.
Obviously, all three of us, I think, wanted Roman to take over.
Correct.
You at least predicted Cody to go
Yeah,
through. We thought
unfortunately.
Roman was going to go through.
I take no pride in that.
I understand. That being said,
Yeah.
I thought they told a decent story. However,
They did.
I loved the first 30 minutes of that match.
It was a great match.
One-on-one. I'm so glad they did it that
Right,
way.
right.
Because I would have loved to have seen that, and I'll be honest with you, that's why I wanted the Faces to win night one. I think that could have been enough. Now, that being said, for a purely entertainment value, and they do get a lot of casuals that come in at WrestleMania,
Right.
the overbooking, and let's face it, that's what this was, an overbooked
gee, you
match.
think?
It worked, didn't it? And the swerve of Undertaker instead of Austin,
Right.
I actually think worked.
Right. Well, look, they were going to let me and Mike run in, but security stopped us. You know what I'm saying?
I was looking for y'all.
You know, and you know what's funny? Everybody's declaring at the end of the night. You know, these internet fans really make me want to upchuck sometimes.
Yeah.
They were declaring at the end of the night, it's the Triple H era. Hello, folks. That ending, I agree with you. And Mike, at the 30-minute mark, texted me, this might be the greatest match I've ever
was
seen.
wonderful.
Okay? But then came
Yep.
the Vince McMahon portion of the E in
That's right.
entertainment.
That's right.
That was Triple H taking a page out of Father-in-Law. Give
That's
me a
right.
break. You got Cena out there. You got Taker out there. You got all this crazy stuff going on. That's Vince.
Yep.
Okay? So that's how I feel about that. I had Vince's thumbprint on that ending there.
It
Just I
worked.
wanted to point that out.
I liked it myself.
Of
and I don't-
course you did. Of course you did, because the E in entertainment is what's given us 40
Yeah.
of these Super Bowls.
I will say
You
this,
know?
that was a lot of moving parts to
Yeah.
go wrong.
Right.
And they all pretty well hit
played
their
it.
timing. They hit their cues.
Even
they
Taker.
hit that right.
Even Taker. I was afraid he was like his knee was going to buckle when he
Yeah.
lifted him. Oh! You know, but hey. Go ahead, Mike.
Here's my fear, guys. We've now saw 3 or 4 years of big time title matches, all with Roman Reigns,
Right.
where you felt like you were watching Mike Tyson, that your hair was and your goosebumps were
It was
on
important.
your arms.
Right, every match.
It's over now. It's over now. It will never feel this way again. It felt real. Wrestling's felt the realest it ever has since I've been watching. And again, why I'm so upset is because now it's going to go back to the wrestling that I don't enjoy.
We're going to have you guys on maybe later this week or something. Y'all can talk about the recap of Raw, preview of SmackDown. I know a lot of our listeners are big into WrestleMania wrestling.
Oh,
and
as much as they yelled at me earlier, we know they're into it.
Exactly. So we'll make something happen. We're out for today, though.